Welcome to Newsmakers. I'm your host, Lisa Oligas. In this edition, we begin what we hope will become a regular visit by our area chambers of commerce and economic development groups to create community connections and get business briefs. Aurora is our neighbor 48 miles to the east on Interstate 44. We welcome Shannon Walker, the executive director of the Aurora, Missouri Chamber of Commerce. Shannon, thanks for being here.
Hi, thank you for having me. I appreciate it very much.
How long have you been with the Aurora Chamber?
Oh goodness, I've been with the Aurora Chamber of Commerce for 17 years.
Wow.
Long time.
You've seen a lot of things develop there, and you have something new to talk about, which is pretty darn exciting, a community app. So tell us what this means and how you'll use it.
So our community app is called Explore Aurora, and it can be found in your app store for Android and for Apple, but it's called Explore Aurora, and it really has everything that you need or want to know about Aurora right at your fingertips on your phone. We don't usually carry our desktops or our laptops where they're accessible, but you always have your phone with you. So all you have to do is download Explore Aurora, and it is broken up into 3 different tabs. So it's Eat, Live and Play, and Shop. Gives you lots of different opportunities. So if you're coming to Aurora, maybe you want to have barbecue, so you open up the Eat part and click on the barbecue tab, and it'll take you straight to Hogtied Barbecue. So it's wonderful. We just did launch it. It's been out and live about a month. So we're hoping to add our events, business events, all kinds of different things. So it'll be right there on the app on your phone for you.
How can this be helpful for a smaller community like Aurora?
So for a smaller community, it's all about communication. It's communication. And this is just another avenue of communication. Not everybody listens to the radio. Not everybody looks at the newspaper. Not everybody follows everything on Facebook. So if you have this app, and you want to know what's going on over the weekend, as long as our businesses have put it in there or our events have been put in there, it will notify you just before the event. So it's kind of a one-stop shop for you to be able to know what's going on in the community.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it is.
So you do have a lot of events coming up.
We do.
In June.
This is our busy time.
It is. So let's talk about it, and it starts with Mustang Mania.
Mustang Mania, we actually have June 17th is a pretty big day in Aurora. We start with Mustang Mania at 9 a.m. at Jimmy Mitchell Motors. And what that is it focuses mainly on Ford Mustangs, but we include other Fords, other Ford cars, other Ford trucks. So it kind of came out of our larger event that we do in October. We had so many Fords and Ford Mustangs that they asked, can you just do one for us? And I was like, sure, why not? So that starts our day, and then it rolls into later that afternoon. We open up Baldwin Park, which is on the north side of Aurora, and we have Light the Night Fireworks Festival. So that starts at 5 p.m. We have food trucks, we have vendors, we have things for the kids to do. We'll have a bounce house sponsored by Arvest Bank this year. And at 7 p.m. we have our live music start, which is a local band, and they're called Covered Charged.
So let's take a little bit of a step back.
Okay.
You have a fundraiser for this big festival, which is the
do.
Fireworks Festival, and that's a little earlier in the month. So tell us about it. It's kind of a run, but we always hear about 5Ks and 10Ks. This is not that.
No, it's not that. But so we have on June the 3rd, which is also happens to be our citywide yard sale, but on June the 3rd at the Strike Zone, which is our bowling alley, we have an event called the 0.01K. Now, we totally support our 5K, 10K marathon runners. We think it's fabulous. It's just not something everyone's cut out for.
Right.
So a friend of mine actually came up with this idea, and we run, it's about 32 feet. So we run our 0.01K, and it is a fundraiser for Light the Night. We do T-shirts. We even do car stickers for the back of your car, because you know some people who do 5Ks and marathons, they have those special stickers where ours says 0.01K, so that you finished it. We do medals for everyone.
I think you have probably the highest completion rate of any run out there.
We do. We actually do. We do. But we break it up into sections. So we let the kids kind of do their thing first. We play games throughout, and then once everybody's run the race, Then we move inside to the strike zone, and we have live music in there, and people can make donations to the fireworks.
So it's its own fun day.
It is its own fun day. We have costume contests, who's the funniest dressed, or if we have a theme that year, who's the best. We have some duos that will dress up like each other, and it's fun. It just brings some awareness for our fireworks festival and for us to earn a little bit extra money.
So then, what is the cost for being part of the 0.01K?
0.01K. It is $20, but you do get a T-shirt. So we do have some great sponsors who help us pay for those T-shirts, and then they get advertisement out of it. But you get a T-shirt, and then sometimes we have some extra little prizes. So if you're interested, you can. The event should be going live on Facebook probably in the next day or two. So go to the Aurora Mo Chamber of Commerce Facebook page, and then click on the event to follow it.
So that's the Strike Zone event.
Yes.
And then that helps raise funds for the Light the Night
Fireworks Festival.
Now, you're beating everyone to the punch because July 4th is usually fireworks.
It is.
Why have it in June?
So we chose in our community, Aurora had not had fireworks in 12 years when we started this.
Wow.
So that was a long time. It was a huge gap. So we have looked around and looked into the other communities, and we don't want to be a competition for anybody. We want to support the other communities that have had long-standing fireworks shows and festivals. So as we were doing our research, we realized that June 14th is Flag Day. And why not have it as a kickoff to the patriotic season and the summer season for that Saturday right after Flag Day.
Yeah.
So it's always the first Saturday after Flag Day, which happens to also fall on Father's Day weekend. So, not all dads get a bunch of stuff or get to go and do. So we're actually having a fireworks show for them. And my granddaughter thinks it's her birthday too. So
there's also, I think, it falls somewhere near Juneteenth,
which
is another celebration
it does fall
that you
near
can mark.
Juneteenth.
So.
That's right. So it's just a big celebration to kind of kick off the summer months and the patriotic season.
Right.
So.
And then there's also a rodeo that happens around the same time.
Correct.
So people could really
spread
their events all day.
You could come to Aurora and just spend the whole day, spend the night if you wanted to, because the rodeo actually starts on the 16th on Friday evening at 8 p.m. And we have worked in partnership with the Rockaway Saddle Club, who does host our rodeo. I believe this is the 68th year, 65th year. I could have my number wrong, but it's been around for a really long time. So we did work in partnership because not everybody wants to come to Baldwin Park and bring their lawn chairs. That kind of scene isn't for them.
Right.
But boy, they'll go and support the cowboys and the cowgirls at the rodeo. So they don't have quite the same show that we have inside Baldwin Park because we have a lot of fireworks that are ground fireworks. But they do still get a really great fireworks display while they're supporting the cowboys and cowgirls.
How exciting. Now, networking is part of every chamber, and you do monthly coffee events. So tell us a little about that while you're here.
So actually we have one. It's always the second Tuesday of every month from 7:30 to 8:30 in the morning, and we hold it at our local coffee shop. It's called the Garden Exchange, and they're located in our downtown area on Olive Street. But sometimes we have a speaker. We've had the health department come and speak. We've had Congressman Eric Burleson's office come and speak. We've had our local fire department come and speak. And sometimes it's just for networking because you need to know what your neighbors are doing in their businesses.
Sure.
And putting a name with a face in a small town especially goes a really long way. So it just is to build community and build relationships. So we invite anybody. It's open to the public. If you would just like to come and see what's going on or just come to the Garden Exchange and have a great cup of coffee,
You bet.
we invite everyone to come. It's an open door.
All right. Well, so the Light the Night Fireworks Festival, June 17th.
June 17th, 5 p.m., Baldwin Park, Aurora, Missouri. Follow us on our Facebook page, and it is called Light the Night Fireworks Festival. It does have its own Facebook page, so go in like that. We'll be updating it with our vendors and our food trucks and different things to come.
And a little bit about the band, Overcharged.
Cover Charge. They are a local band. Actually, the lead singer is my neighbor. So I didn't know he was my neighbor at the time, but they play all the way up in Rogersville. They played in Billings and Republic.
Kind of a rock cover band
They
of
are
70s to 90s hits.
Yep, that's exactly what they are. So come and enjoy them. And if you can't make it to Light the Night, follow their Facebook page and go see where they're at, because they're a wonderful band. So we love having them.
Shannon Walker, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
When we come back, a look ahead to the Berry Barbecue Festival in Anderson, Missouri. But first, a reminder of the dates and times for the Light the Night Fireworks Festival. Welcome back to Newsmakers, where we are making community connections. Next, we bring focus to Anderson, Missouri, which is preparing to celebrate the Berries, Bluegrass, and Barbecue Festival. Our guest today to talk about that is Ken Shutton, president of the Anderson Betterment Club, who is also the communications director for the McDonald County School District. Thanks for coming to visit with us, Ken.
You bet. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for asking.
Well, the festival is a big deal for Anderson, but I know when I first heard strawberries in Missouri, I always thought, well, that just seems really odd, but there really is a history of strawberry growing in McDonald County. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so Anderson used to be called the strawberry capital of the world. That's what it was known for. From the 1920s to about the 1950s, more strawberries were grown and shipped out of Anderson than anywhere else in the world.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Yeah, and so it's been such a vital part of our history and our culture there that we decided a few years ago that we wanted to pay respect to that history. And so we created the Berry Festival, and we added some bluegrass elements and some food elements too. And so it's kind of grown over the years since then. But originally it was done so that we could draw some attention to the history, and it's such an important history to that area, actually all of McDonald County.
So tell us about that. I mean, were there lots of farms? You know, it is a good, I guess, environment for raising strawberries?
Sure, sure. You know, they say back in the early 20s that all the hillsides across McDonald County were covered with strawberries. There was quite a bit of fruit growing in this area in southwest Missouri, and Anderson in McDonald County was known as the strawberry capital of the world. In fact, we were digging around the other day online and found an article from one of the Kansas City Southern Railway farm reports or crop reports from 1922. I'm going to read you just a little bit.
Yes, please do.
They sent a Kansas City Star reporter down to Anderson. This is
big time.
This is May 25th of 1922.
Okay.
All right, so just almost, what is that? Almost 100 years ago, right?
Almost, yeah.
So here's what he says. He says, tonight this little town of 1,200 inhabitants, 10 miles north of the Arkansas line, is a veritable beehive. Hundreds of people are engaged in loading car after car of strawberries, which go to almost every section of the country. Wagons and motor cars piled high with crates of big, juicy red berries are lined up for blocks, waiting to get to the loading docks. Miles away on every side, vehicles are rumbling into town with their loads. The town's businesses, district, and countryside is working virtually the full 24 hours of the day at present. Can you imagine that?
That was 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was yesterday, 1922.
Yeah.
Yesterday, 24 cars of berries were loaded and shipped from here. The enormity of Missouri's strawberry business is hard to realize unless the actual harvest is seen. In this immediate section alone, it's estimated 10,000 pickers are being used. 10,000 people. Can you imagine that?
Well, quadruple the population.
Yeah.
10 times the population.
Yeah. Elderly men and women are working alongside boys and girls. One of the big fields visited was that of Clark and Madison. This field on the first going over had averaged 20 crates to the acre 2 years ago. This field was in underbrush. Its owners are expected to realize an average of $150 an acre for this season's yield. More than 1,500 acres are in berries in the immediate vicinity of Anderson. And if you put the numbers to it, because I did this, put the numbers, so $150 in 1922 money is about $2,700 today. So if you figure everything out, that's about a multi-million-dollar industry just in the berries, and that's not including all of the things that you know. If it was going 24 hours a day, you're talking about grocery stores and
You bet.
and restaurants.
It really
and
was
things
vital
like
to
that.
the community.
It really was.
10,000 workers coming in. They had to stay maybe in some rooms. So it really was a significant impact on that town's
It really was.
financial.
And what's neat about the Berry Festival is when you're out there and people are coming in and visiting and then listening to the music and enjoying the scenery and things, you talk to people who remember picking strawberries.
Really?
Yeah. And so
They may have done it as a kid even.
Yes, exactly right. And so what they would tell you is that, well, we picked strawberries in the summer so that we would have enough money to buy shoes for the school year and things like that. So it was just a wide-ranging industry. And not a lot of people outside of that area really realize it, and not a lot of people in the area sometimes realize that either.
Yeah. I know people have picked strawberries before, and you had to be careful because you can, I think you can get pricked somehow.
It's very labor intensive.
It
I mean,
is.
it's
a hand picking.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly right. And there's not really a machine that does that.
Yeah.
And even today, you can see some of the farms around McDonald County have used. There's some bigger farms in northwest Arkansas and some bigger farms in northern Oklahoma that grow strawberries on a commercial basis. There's not really a farm in McDonald County anymore that does commercial basis strawberries. But yeah, it's still a hand to bucket pick, and you know, you can see the old time pictures of people just spread out in the fields and you know, back-breaking work picking strawberries all day long. Can you imagine that?
So how many growers do you have who bring in for your festival?
So right now we're using about 2, usually, that come in and we get the strawberries and then sell them on behalf of the Anderson Betterment Club. So the strawberries usually are very popular and they usually sell out pretty quickly. So it's
got to get there early then.
Exactly
for
right.
That.
Yeah.
And so do we also see people using them in dishes, or is it just pretty much we're getting just the strawberries to use on our own?
So I think that they just get them and use them as they're going to, and some of them are even eating them before they leave. So
fresh. I mean, there's fresh strawberries are divine.
Oh, yeah.
And they're, you know, usually they say big and juicy. So
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this was a good environment for growing
Yeah,
strawberries.
yeah, and still is. Some of the growers that we're using, they're still growing the same type of strawberry that were grown in 1922. It's called an aroma strawberry.
An
and that's
aroma
it.
strawberry.
Yeah.
So it smells really good, I
Yeah,
suppose.
yeah.
Hence the name.
Oh yeah, it smells like good strawberries.
Exciting. So then this is a day. So when does the day start for your bluegrass?
You bet. Yeah, right. So we
berries
start 11 o'clock. We open the vendors, and so there's some arts and craft vendors and some nonprofits that show up and do some things. We also have food trucks and food vendors there all day. So they start at 11. The crowd starts filtering in, and then at 2:30, I'll go through the little lineup for this. 2:30, we have the donut eating contest.
Oh, I didn't even realize. It's very important.
Exactly right. So one of our local donut shops hosts this, Poppy's Daylight Donut. And we have 3 different age categories, and you have to eat a certain amount of donuts as fast as you can to see who wins.
What was
and that's
the top
been very popular.
last year?
You know, I cannot remember. It's like it's almost close to a minute that people have eaten. I think it was 6 donuts that the adults have to eat. And so, yeah.
I think
and
I
you
could
think,
do that in a minute.
Well, okay.
Well, 1
so
minute is fast.
people say that, and it's funny because you get to see these adults and these big guys sit down, and you know, about 2 donuts through, you're rethinking your choice. You know? So it's really fun to watch. It's a
Do
really
you
great
get
time.
to dip it in milk or anything?
No, it's just donuts and a water.
Okay. Ooh,
So-
well, water.
Yeah,
That would be
yeah,
helpful.
yeah.
You know, because we had the Girl Scout Cookie Challenge.
Right.
We used to have a strategy there, but
Yeah,
might have to have a
and there is a
strategy.
strategy, and I don't know what it is because I don't do that. So, but
So donuts at 2:30,
Yeah.
and then we started having music, right?
Exactly right. Then we go into the bluegrass bands, and this has been a really exciting part of our festival. This is something that we really wanted to build on, and we've had some great help from local people who know the bluegrass industry and are really involved in that. And so we get bands from Northwest Arkansas, we get bands from Southwest Missouri and Northeast Oklahoma all come up and perform. These are bands that have been at Silver Dollar City. Right now they're having their Bluegrass and Barbecue Festival. And so these are bands that have performed at Silver Dollar City and now are coming here. We've become on this bluegrass circuit.
Yeah.
And so the musicians that you're going to see here are some of the top bluegrass bands. And I say bluegrass, but these guys are really musicians. You're going to hear some fantastic live music. And there's nothing better than sitting on the banks of the river at Town Hole Park is where this is, and it's where the Indian Creek makes a bend there in Anderson, and it creates this park environment, and you're just sitting there at the river and you're listening to bluegrass, and it's a great, beautiful day.
Bring a chair, bring a blanket.
Yeah, you bet.
Kind of however
bring
you're
a chair,
comfortable.
bring a blanket. We'll have a big circus tent set up for shade. There's some trees down there, but yeah, just come out and enjoy the day. The bluegrass goes up until 8 o'clock in the evening. That's the last band on. There's a Little Miss Strawberry and Little Mr. Strawberry pageant. It fit in between there, and so it's just a lot of fun.
So, and then, do we want to go through all the bands, or just, we have a slate, but they're like every half hour?
Every 45 minutes.
minutes?
Yeah, about every hour we switch bands. Greenland Station Bluegrass Band is the first one that we have. They've been with us from the start when we first started this concept of bluegrass. And they're from Northwest Arkansas, and they have a really strong following, and they do a lot of appearances. We have the Finley River Boys, who are from Northwest Arkansas as well, and they have are actually Southwest Missouri, and so they actually have quite a following. They've been on the circuit for a long time, and they're a great band. Have a great fiddle player. So yeah, that's a lot of fun. The Flying Buzzards Bluegrass Band, I'll tell you about this one because they're hard to forget, is a group of older gentlemen, and they all wear blue shirts and red suspenders, and they're pretty entertaining. Roving Gamblers is another bluegrass band, and this is one of the major bluegrass bands in the area, and a lot of people, if you follow that circuit, you're going to know this band because they are very talented, been around a long time, and they've really been a great addition to us. We've had them before, and they play some fantastic music, some fantastic musicians, some of the best guitar pickers and banjo players that you will ever hear in that. And then Borderline Bluegrass is another one from Neosho, actually. Some guys are just in our backyard, and so they're a really talented group of people too.
So Anderson's a relatively small town. I mean, they even mentioned the old article. What does this do to your population when you have this big festival? Lots of folks coming and going.
Yeah. So, there's people that come in and they stop and they shop. They get gas at the gas stations. They buy things at the grocery store and at the convenience store and at the different stores. I think what's neat about this is that sometimes people, a lot of times people will come to this festival not realizing what Anderson is all about, or what Anderson has to offer. And they'll leave they'll say, I never realized all the things that were here and how great this little town is. And that's one of the things that we wanted to do, is we wanted to make sure that we give not only the people who live here a great thing to do, but also to showcase our community, because we're proud of it, and we want people to come and visit and see what it's all about.
Yeah. So you also work with the school system.
Sure.
Are students involved in this event too?
Yeah, they sure are. So we use some students from McDonald County High School to help the vendors get set up. There's some kids who come in and they for some service projects, and they help our vendors set up and pull tables out and help set up tents and help them make sure that they've got all the things going that they need to get going. So it's been very helpful. And then some of them even help us sell strawberries and things at our tent. So.
All right, let's give everybody the dates and times of this, and then we'll talk a little bit about July 4th. But yes,
so Saturday, May 20th, all right, Anderson, it's at Town Hole Park. It's not hard to find, it's just on Main Street. You just go down Main Street and you'll see it. We'll start at 11 o'clock and it goes all the way until 8 o'clock in the evening. There'll be food vendors, lots of food vendors. There'll be arts and crafts and some nonprofit vendors. We'll have some carnival games there for the kids. Like I said, we've got the donut eating contest.
Very important.
Yes, that's right. We've got the Little Miss and Mr. Strawberry contest, and then bluegrass throughout the day. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, June. Hopefully the weather's very nice for it.
Working on bluegrass time here at the 2016 Berry's Bluegrass and Barbecue. Glad you're here. If you feel like eating 6 donuts as fast as you can this morning, get up here. congratulations to all our contestants, all our winners of the 2016 Little Miss Strawberry Pageant. Let's all give another round of applause to all of them.
You also do have a big celebration with some fireworks coming up. So tell us about that.
Yeah,
down the line. Mark your calendar.
Yeah, the city has done a fantastic job. Last year, the city decided to start a fireworks display, and so contracted with some fireworks people and have it out at the ball fields, and that's Sunday, July the 2nd this year. And it's a great event. People are welcome to come out, and you just bring your lawn chair, your blanket. We have food trucks there as well. It's at our community ball fields, and there's plenty of room to sit out and watch the fireworks. Last year it was enormous. We couldn't believe how many people showed up.
Well,
and
it's nice. I mean, there's a lot of things on the 4th.
Yeah.
It's nice to have that on a different day.
Sure. We tried to look around to the different communities and see who's doing what on what day, and try not to conflict with any of those. Because, I mean, if somebody from Anderson wants to go to Pineville and watch theirs, or Southwest City, they can do that.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ken Shetton, for
bet.
being here.
You bet.
And that wraps up this edition of Newsmakers. I'm Lisa Oligas. Thanks for watching.
Hey y'all! I always knew I wanted to stay close to home for college, and after discovering that Missouri Southern's Advanced Medical School Acceptance Program would allow me to follow my dreams of becoming a physician, I knew it would be the perfect fit for me. Living on campus has given me a front row seat to all that MSSU has to offer. Lion Village, our newest residence hall, offers open study areas for students to gather, a movie theater, private rooms, full kitchens and living areas, and so much more. One of the best parts about being a student at MSSU is all of the opportunities to get involved on campus. I serve as the president of our chapter of Omicron Delta Kappa, the National Leadership Honor Society, where service is heavily valued. Our service projects include the annual One Warm Coat Drive, where we collect clothing for a local shelter as well as the Boys and Girls Club. I also serve as the vice president of Women in Science, one of the most active clubs on campus. It's a place where we can lift one another up while we share our passion for the STEM fields with campus and the community. We have several fraternity and sorority chapters if you're interested in Greek life. We also have a 71,000 square foot recreation center where various fitness classes are offered, along with an esports center for all you gamers out there. There are numerous student organizations to join. You can even help shape what's offered by being a member of the Campus Activities Board. There is such a close-knit feeling at Missouri Southern State University. It's an environment that truly feels like family and has allowed me to reach my full potential. That's my story.